G'day guys, Googs here, and you're welcome to my drunk philosophy. This is going to be a little bit about Israel Folau and a little bit about the SJWs. For those of you who don't know, Israel Folau made some rather nasty and derogatory comments towards homosexual people about 2.5 weeks ago. Now, Israel Folau is a famous rugby player in the National Rugby League. Now, because of what he said, once again, it was derogatory. I don't agree with his statements. He was, modern terminology is homophobic. I'm just going to say he doesn't like homosexuals. And he got fired. I don't agree with that, by the way. He wasn't inciting violence against homosexual people. And those people who don't like homosexuals aren't going to like them regardless of what he says or not. However, the result was he got fired. He wanted to fight the fact he got fired, so he started up a GoFundMe campaign. Now, there's nothing unusual about this in the sense of, GoFundMe can be used by anyone with any reason to set up a campaign to raise money for a certain cause. In his case, it was legal fees, so that he could fight the charges against him by Rugby Australia and, I suppose, get his job back. An interesting twist occurred today, though. And that is that the GoFundMe page, after some petitions, he lost his GoFundMe campaign, right? It's gone, and everyone's who donated to it is getting their money back. Now Israel's come out and said, hey, that's discrimination because I'm made the comments I made about homosexual people on the basis and the grounds of my religious conviction. Now, I don't agree with that either, mind you. However, let's get to the SJW part of this, because this is where it gets interesting. He is doing the whole victimhood, if you like, about the GoFundMe campaign based on his group identity as a Christian. This is the game the SJWs play. It's all about your group identity, black, white, Muslim, whatever it is, right? Homosexual, etc., etc. So based on your group identity, you can't, by their own reckoning, have a go at somebody based on their group identity, because if you do, because this is identity politics, right? It's group identity. If you do, you're a racist, sexist, homophobe, blah, 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 blah. And he's come out and said, well, based on my group identity, which believes this particular idea, and I know it's not all Christians who believe that, but there are Christians who do, but based on my group identity, you can't do this to me. You can't silence me for my group identity as a Christian. And he's got a point. I hate to say it, but he's got a point. He is basically saying, well, if you guys are allowed to play, you SJW types are allowed to play with these rules, then I'm going to call you to account on principle. Hey, but due to my group identity, I should also be allowed to do this, because otherwise it's bigotry. And he's got a point. I hate to say it, but he has got a point. And this is what happens when you play identity politics. The other side starts playing identity politics, and then everybody plays identity politics, then everyone's a victim. And then hate speech laws become as much against the people who initially set out to help people, let's say, of minority groups, Aboriginals, etc., etc., and it then becomes everybody is a member of a group of some type, and now everybody can claim victimhood, possibly litigation, hate speech, and all the rest of it. This is the beginning of that in Australia with Israel Folau, because he has got a lot of people on his side. Now, you don't have to like his opinion, I don't personally, but he has got a fair few followers. I mean, I think the man got up to about $600,000 in the space of 3 days. This is what happens when you play identity politics, because eventually what happens is everyone who's a part of a group can claim bigotry for their beliefs or for their standards or whatever it is if you go against them and if you say that they're a bad person. It's a sad state of affairs, but it was only a matter of time. Anyway, I'm Nathan Googs Fletcher, and this has been my drunk philosophy, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Uru.